Hi guys, this is a video with a review on some bonsai tools, but at the beginning we've got a very short collection update. I hope you enjoy it. See you in a bit. Hi guys, so this is just a quick collection update and another shout out for Mark at Shocker Bonsai, which I will put his tag up here somewhere. So this is another couple of trees that I've got from him, very reasonably priced as always. Very good delivery, very good communication, all round brilliant service. You may have seen an unboxing video that I did last time. He packages them very well. I've never had one arrive damaged, and obviously if it did I'm sure he would try and sort it for you, but I've never had that problem. So yeah, I got these two earlier in the week. So this is a nice little hornbeam. It's my hand for scale. It's such an unusual little trunk on it. Very nice. Obviously the leaves are turning because it's that time of year, but a lot of promise in that little tree. And a little larch. I think it's a European larch. I'm not completely sure, I'd have to look. But again, very nice little tree, very good movement, and very reasonably priced. So again, definitely try out Shocker Bonsai, guys. You won't be disappointed. And I think you can also pay on there using ClearPay. So if you want to pay over a few weeks rather than in one go, you have that facility. Now onto the video for the tools. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Dinner Bonsais. Today I'm going to give a little bit of advice on some tools that I use. And I've tried lots of different tools, but these ones are not too expensive, but they're also not cheap. But they are very good for the money, so let's have a look. So guys, these are the ones that over the last 3 years I find to be the best value for money compared to the quality you get. What I mean by that is there are cheaper ones out there. I mean, to be fair, you can pretty much use ordinary garden tools to a certain extent, but once you get to a certain level you're going to want to get yourself a proper set of bonsai tools, because it will just help you do your job a lot better, a lot easier, and the tree will thank you for it. But anyway, so I have had some expensive tools. I have gone out and I've bought a set of tools for like £300 odd. I have still got some of them and they're great, but even the most expensive ones I have had things go wrong with and things like that, and to replace a set of tools of that value is quite a thing to do, especially if you haven't got tons of money. So as I said, I've had these before, and Dave has actually got a set of these. These are on Amazon. I will show you the picture up here. There are a couple of different options. These ones were £69 because I've gone for the slightly larger pack, but they're very good quality for the price. So let's have a look at what you get. Right guys, so this is what you get in the kit that I got. So again, quite a lot for your money, when you consider that a top pair of branch cutters would probably cost you more just for a set of them. And yes, I get what people are going to say, you know, you pay for quality, but not everyone can afford, not even me, you know, I'm not rich, but I'm also, you know, I've got a well-paid job, but even I can't afford to keep going out and splashing over £100 on a pair of branch cutters every time I need you know, to get a new pair. So again, these are inexpensive compared to that, but again, good quality. So in this pack you get some wire cutters, and I will be taking these out in a minute. You get some pruning shears, pruning scissors, whatever you want to call them. You get a knob cutter, the branch cutter, you get the branch splitter. Now, not a lot of kits come with this, and it is quite a handy tool to have. Even if it's not one you use all the time, when you do need it, you'll be thankful you've got it. And of course, a pair of June pliers. So let's have a look at these individually. So first off, the wire cutters. Now I do have a set of, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, Eboa cutters, which can go up to quite a large gauge, but just for your bonsai bag, these are pretty much ample, unless you've got some really thick wire. to give you a demonstration of how easy they cut through. So I'm doing this with one hand, but pretty effortless. So again, a really nice set of wire cutters, pretty robust, and definitely feel well made. Okay, so next up we have the pliers, which are actually gin pliers. Now I'm sure that most of you will know what I mean by gin, but if not, I will show you. I just happen to have a tree here with it. So this is one of my junipers. So if I show you here, so this bit of dead wood here is what you call a gin. So what these pliers are very good for is crushing the outside bark and twisting so that the bark is easily removed. I mean, you can use a knife and even normal pliers will probably work, but again, they are specially designed for this. So with everything, it will just make the job a little bit easier. So that's the sort of thing they're used for. Again, if you need any more explanation, please do ask in the comments and I'll answer your questions for you. Okay, so on to the trunk splitters. Now, again, they're pretty obvious what it is from the name, trunk splitter. But for those of you that don't know what you would use these for, on occasion in the bonsai world, you will get a tree that does not have the flexibility that you would like, or is too thick and you need to reduce it, or you wish to put a twist into it, etc, etc. So this is a bit of dead wood here, so don't worry about that. But as you can see, it's not very flexible. So what you would do, and again I apologise I'm doing this with one hand, but you'll get the idea, is if you split the trunk, as the name suggests. Right, so I don't know if you can see that. So as you can see, I've gone right the way through there, and you would continue doing that along a section of the tree, and you could even do it crossways as well, so you could actually have 4 splits. Now I can hear you all screaming, but you're going to kill the tree, you're going to kill the tree. No, if you do it properly and give the right aftercare, it will not kill the tree, because as you can see, the bark is what supplies the nutrients, well, sorry, the cambium under the bark is what supplies the nutrients. The inside of the tree is just for structure. So as long as I am leaving a connection from the root system to the top of the tree for the nutrients to get up and down, it shouldn't die, as long as you protect it and give it the right aftercare. So in theory, once you have done a few splits like that, the branch would then be able to be twisted or bent, and then you could obviously tape it up with, you know, whatever, like raffia or whatever, just until it heals over. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and again, if not, message me in the comments and I will try and give you a better explanation. Okay, so on to the next one. So the branch cutter, again, pretty obvious from the description what it is and what it does. Oops, my wrapper's being blown away. So again, you can use pretty much basic garden tools to cut your branches. Again, this is a bit of dead wood, so don't worry about it too much, but these are specially designed with the blade just in the right place at the right angle to not only give you a nice clean cut, but to also neutralize a lot of the chance of any kind of infection or ripping or pulling, because it cuts it in such a way that it's near flush, which is what you want, especially if you're going to be putting paste on or cut putty. You don't want a rough edge, which unfortunately some lesser tools can do. So just to give you an example, so again, obviously there's no method to where I'm cutting here, but I'm putting see, I hardly even touched that, and that just literally went through like a knife through butter. The eagle-eyed amongst you will be saying, oh, that tree's not dead. Yeah, it is dead, it just hasn't reached the tips yet. So let me try on a slightly thicker one. So again, I'm not going to put too much pressure on it, and it just cuts off. And as you can see, a nice clean cut, no ripping, no tearing, very easy to work with and very easy to give aftercare for. So again, a vital piece of your kit. If you were only going to get a couple of things, this would definitely be one of them, because it's something you're going to be using more times than not. Okay, on to the next. Okay, so we're nearly there, guys. So this, as I said earlier, and no sniggering in the background, guys, is a knob cutter. Yes, you heard me correct, a knob cutter. But don't get any funny ideas. It's not for your wife to torture you. This is literally for the knobbly bits to get in and make a nice smooth retrieval. Again, what I mean by that, so if I go back to that branch that we just cut, as you can see, I've now got what you would call a knobbly bit here. Now I can use the branch cutters on that, but it would leave a very straight edge, and what I want is to get in there and to have it sort of concaved. So if you look on these, they're rounded, whereas the others were straight. These are rounded. So again, I am doing this with one hand, guys, so you have to forgive me, but I don't know if you can see quite make that out on the camera. Sorry, let me just... So it has actually, what it's done, it's cut it nice and easy, but I don't know if it's on the camera, can you see it's got like a roundness to it? It's got a slight dip, almost like a crater, rather than being a flat edge. So that helps in many reasons. One, it looks more natural. If you ever look on a tree, you'll see these naturally occurring, where branches have come off and snapped and that. But also it makes it easier for the tree to heal itself. Because it's concaved, these edges, when they start scarring up, will go inwards, and because it's concaved, it'll be a lot easier for it to cover it up, whereas if it was uphill like a jagged edge, it wouldn't heal up as easy. So again, that's what those are used for. Not a necessity, but definitely a good bit of kit to have. So the last item in this pack, and as I said, this pack is only one option. There's many options. Some of the options you'll actually get a root hook as well, but I've got a root hook, so I didn't particularly need that pack. And there are smaller packs as well, but again, you can have a look on Amazon or wherever, and to see what fits with your needs. Basically, if you don't need all of them, then obviously you don't need to get all of them. But anyway, so the last ones in this pack are my pruning shears, leaf pruners, whatever you want to call them, scissors. And these do come in many different sizes, but obviously you get just the one size here. Let's take that bit of protection off, because these are very sharp. Very sharp. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, they're just a pair of scissors, and technically they are, but again, they have been developed specifically for the job at hand. So let me have a look if I've got anything I need to cut. Yes, actually here I do actually. This is one of my large elms, and it's a prolific grower, but there is still a lot of new growth on it that I need to cut back. So for example, and again, I'm not going to put any effort into this, guys, at all. If I get you as close as I can, I didn't even put any strength into that. It just goes straight through, like a knife through butter. That actually jumped up there, but it is cut. It's because I've got a cobweb on there. And it is a very straight cut. So that is the tools. So as I was saying, if you are on a budget and you need to buy them individually, or you need to buy a smaller set, these are the three, in my opinion, that I use the most. So in my opinion, again, I repeat that, it's just my opinion. You may disagree, and by all means put in the comments, what you would choose and why you would choose, and that's great. Everyone's different, but the three I use the most are these. So branch cutter, because let's face it, 99.9% of the trees you're going to be working on, there's going to be a branch or a couple of branches that you're going to want to remove or trim or reshape. Bonsai shears, pruning scissors, whatever you want to call them. Definitely, again, you're going to be cutting leaves, you're going to be cutting stems, you're going to be cutting very precisely where you want the nodes cut, so you need something precise and sharp. And for me, the knob cutter, because again, 9 times out of 10 when I've taken a branch off, I'm going to want to make it look as neat and as natural as possible. So those are the three that, as far as I'm concerned, are a must in any bonsai enthusiast toolbox. But having all of them is definitely beneficial. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope I've explained it well enough. If I haven't, please do send me a message and I will do my best to answer any questions I haven't answered. Okay, so until the next one, guys, take it easy and stay safe.